Bean counters in healthcare are struggling to get the balance right. Here is a diagnosis and a prescription. Technology and commodification create human complications. More is the problem, not the solution. Existential problems require heightened empathy, love, and wisdom, truth. Moral philosophy heals moral injury. Embrace existentialism as an antidote to the inevitable nihilism that results from degrading patients as customers and doctors as providers. We are not pawns in your chess game. Patients are kings, most important, and doctors are queens, most instrumental. Actually, we are not chess pieces at all. Everyone loses when zero-sum games are played with matters of moral importance. Reawakening the purpose of healthcare will save lives and brighten balance sheets. Authenticity and effectiveness are not mutually exclusive. To thrive, we must all be on the same side. Team humanity. If life is the most basic right and health is essential to life, why is healthcare just a good and not a universal right? When healthcare is a good rather than a right, it gives us what we want, not necessarily what we need. The problem isn't you, me, or them. The problem is us, and so is the solution. Americans have a hard time telling the whole truth, and even harder time listening to and asking questions that reveal it. Welcome to my channel. Let's enter to grow in wisdom, to heal ourselves and each other. That begins by asking questions and telling truths that would dissatisfy you as a customer. Death is corpses, not passing away. We aren't providers. Happy Doctor's Day. Our patients aren't customers. They are human beings. When healthcare is a product, we become perverted. Good healthcare is everyone's right, but that requires telling unsettling truths about us and our society. Why isn't your doctor allowed and mandated to tell you the whole truth in all its ugly detail to save your life? Nicotine will hurt your neck and back decades before it kills your heart and brain. Nicotine is pain disguised as pleasure. It's slavery disguised as freedom. The reason the whole truth is withheld is that our hands, like yours, are shackled by our consumerist culture, where we value superficial pleasures and inoffensive platitudes over life itself. And the root cause is that we share corruptive conceptions of freedom, respect, success, and happiness. But there is hope, and it is in Plato's cave. We must strip ourselves down and then build ourselves up. We have the power to live more genuine conceptions of freedom, respect, success, and happiness. Sharing the whole truth is the right thing to do, is possible, is essential to your health, and is satisfying in the end. We may not be able to change the world, but we can change ourselves. And once we change ourselves, we can change the world. Is free will possible? Are you sure? Neuroscience suggests otherwise. We seem to be circuits of billions of neurons set in motion by external forces. Just like billiards on a pool table, thinking they're changing their little worlds, but controlled by something else. Everything about us is a web-like shimmer that hallucinates as me. Just as our vision is mere perception of a reality we'll never see, and our identity the product of chance circumstance, is our will an experience? Are our choices shadows of phenomena that have already happened? Let go, love and learn. Live the show, play a role, control what you think you can control. It will be over tomorrow. Are you free? Is freedom even possible?
As a spinal neurosurgeon, you might think my life is only anatomy and procedures, but I'm a doctor before a surgeon and a human first. I took the Hippocratic Oath, and I would be a hypocrite if I didn't tell you the whole truth. Most conditions that require medical and surgical treatment, including and especially spine surgery, are the result of unhealthy patient behavior, which is not the fault of individual patients, but rather a societal disease, in particular, our culture's unhealthy conceptions of freedom, respect, success, and happiness. We are prisoners deep in Plato's cave, some of us more than others, who view freedom as merely choice making without enough knowledge or power to make a free choice even possible. We view respect as either nodding with someone we agree with or ignoring those with whom we disagree, rather than engaging in dialectical conversation to learn and improve. We view success as winning against other human beings at all cost that degrades their humanity. And we view happiness as a dopamine rush without any awareness of the long term consequences. We are thus held captive by war and disease. Perhaps we aren't the greatest apes. In this channel, I refer to the disease as dopamony, a cycle of consumption of all forms of junk food and junk ideas, accelerated by unchecked capitalism and high technology. This consumption causes superficial pleasures, which lead to degeneration, followed by pain, only leading to more consumption, and in the end, you get consumed. Healthcare not only fails to stop the cycle, but also contributes to it. Our culture is similarly held hostage by a smoldering warlike state I call anger lust, a never ending cycle of violence causing a victim to hate and then transform into their own perpetrator, causing more violence. Rather than lenses through which we view the world, our individual circumstances have become inwardly reflective, overly stimulated bubbles, making us neurotic and susceptible to false dichotomies. Our minds, words, and actions are just as much garbage as the junk food, nicotine, and other substances we put in ourselves in the futile attempt to fill an internal void. Most people are only living on the surface of life. Most people will die having never lived. How do you know you're not one of these people? There is hope to unshackle ourselves from dopamine and anger lust. Start by embracing humility. Worry you might be wrong. Then embrace humanity and turn to the foundational virtues of truth and love. Make a decision to ride a wave that cleanses you of arbitrary and toxic absurdity and then gives you perspective to be something more. I am not religious, and this wave doesn't have to be religion. It's okay if it is, or part of it. The wave is situated somewhere between the immediate and the ultimate. Any human is a sentient but vulnerable being has the potential to ride the wave. And it's okay if you fall off from time to time. The wave will show you that war and disease are caused by cycles, and we have the power to turn off the switch. To do that, you need to live in an enlightened flow state, engaged in experience, but removed by 1 degree from the particulars, because the particulars are arbitrary and have no moral worth. You will witness false dichotomies and zero-sum games as the logical errors they are. You will find truth not in the particulars or the abstract, but in the constant and communal interplay between the two, a reflective equilibrium between is and ought. You will never actually get there, and that's okay. Good, in fact. Freedom is the journey, not the destination, and constantly struggling means you're on the right track. You will find yourself by losing yourself. By letting go of the illusion of free will, you will be more free than ever. Paradoxically, freedom is captivating. Freedom is the moral life. Always do the right thing. That will be painful, and that's okay. Freedom transcends superficial pleasure and pain. After all, pleasure is an illusion, but suffering is real, and it is arbitrary which body you occupy. And so freedom is the struggle to emancipate your world from suffering of all kinds. Freedom is faith in humanity, or at least yourself, to evolve. Every moment is an opportunity, some answer to a question. Turn off the disease switch. Health is dialectical and iterative. We must strip down, then build up. Listen, contemplate, and evolve. Health is also multifaceted, communal, and intertwined. Physical health requires a reawakened mind and a soothed soul. Countless people can help you get there. This channel is one attempt to inform and inspire you to heal yourself as a citizen in a diseased society. But once you've healed yourself, how can you not go on to emancipate other human beings from suffering of all kinds? There will be pain, and that's okay. Wounded healing is the highest pleasure, the good life, the only true freedom. Every moment is an opportunity, some answer to a question. What's the right thing to do? Once you escape one cage, you have the vantage to see others. Look around. We're in a three-dimensional chessboard, and all who enter are pawns in a Machiavellian game of technocratic hubris and Kool-Aid. But the Wizard of Oz is the greatest fool, suffocated by green. You and I didn't start the game, but we'll win anyway, with truth and love. But once the game started, you need to choose a team. Which team do you belong to? Belong to only one team, Team Humanity. The uniforms we wear, viewpoints we hold, and identities we bear enable our participation. They don't replace it. As such, the particular aspects of our individual existences ought to unite rather than divide us. They are nearly as arbitrary as the transient whims we feel and circumstances we face, and thus have little moral worth. Let the light shine on what really matters, an always evolving and reflective equilibrium between now is and tomorrow ought, vigorously but respectfully debated within and amongst ourselves, to emancipate our world from suffering every moment. Anything less is slavery. The only way to see real light is to see darkness. But once you see real darkness, you learn that's all there is. And so the only way to see light is to be it. Be that much needed breath of fresh air, that breath of life,